Capitol Hill. There's Ohio Representative Marcy Kaptur. She's questioning the Defense Secretary and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They're on Capitol Hill talking about their 2017 budget. We'll show you what we can until the House gavels in for legislative work in about 15 minutes.
For example, our Guard has a relationship ongoing with Hungary and Serbia, California with Ukraine, Illinois with Poland. What does the budget do to facilitate this growing capability that is essential, really, to carrying out our activities in that realm? Thirdly, describe the development and size of ISIL as a terrorist force and the motivation for what seems to be drawing additional evidence, and would appreciate for the record what is DOD's view of victory in Syria. And finally, on the matter of survivor benefits, I was recently contacted by a veteran constituent with 3 children who's an Afghanistan veteran herself at the E7 level and has PTS. She's a Gold Star wife due to the death of her husband in Iraq in 2004. Under current law, a required offset in payments between her dependency and indemnity compensation and her survivor benefit plan annuities prohibits her from receiving the full amount of both. For the record, let me also state 5% of military widows remarry, 95% of widowers do. For women with children, it just seems to me there ought to be something going on at DOD that would help those who have so nobly served our nation. So I wanted to put that on the record, and if you can't fully answer it here, I appreciate it in your written reply. So first on the Russian propaganda issue.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman, and I'll start on the Russian propaganda thing. It is related to hybrid warfare. Russia has bought media in the West, no question about it. You can turn that on in your own living room, and of course, and sometimes that contains what I've called the big lie, and our principal response to that as a country and as the West is the truth, and but we have to watch the effect of that, and it is related, and the State Department does that, the intelligence community does that, and others. But for our part, you asked us, it is related to hybrid warfare. And earlier we were discussing the European Reassurance Initiative and its parts, and and we were talking about territorial defense, which is important. Another critical part of the ERI is hardening the states of Europe to essentially subversion, which is hybrid warfare shades into subversion, hardening them by helping them to defend themselves from cyber manipulation and from other kinds of insidious influences that we saw precede the Russian actions in Crimea and Ukraine. So we're trying to learn from that. That's exactly what hybrid warfare means. That's why hybrid warfare is part of the new playbook, as I call it, for NATO. It's not like NATO was long ago, which in the Fulda Gap, which was a more conventional kind of conflict. We have to expect a more unconventional kind of conflict, and that is exactly what the chairman and I and General Breedlove think about and plan for when it comes to Europe. I'll stop there, except with just one, if I may put in a plug for the State Partnership Program with you. That we get huge value out of these state partnership programs. We fund them, and their people are very enthusiastic. The countries tell me all the time how much they love the state that is their partner. It's a great way of tying America to others and complementing what the Defense Department does institutionally. So they're great programs, and I appreciate your support.
I hope, Mr. Secretary, with that endorsement, that you will find ways to broaden it, to fully utilize it, particularly in those places which are so much at risk right now. And on the propaganda front, I really hope in your position you can lead an administration effort to be a little more coordinated, not just DOD, but we need a strategy to totally combat the propaganda that is flooding nations like Ukraine. It is not in it's not in Liberty's interest to have this continue without an equal response, and the West response is very anemic compared to what is coming out of the Russian.
Yeah, let me commend Ms. Kaptur for her persistence on this issue. And while you're aiming at Russian propaganda, we might come up with a game plan for ISIS and Islamic State as well.